Hello and welcome to the Summer 2019 Butler Builder video. I'm Greg Pasley, President of Butler Manufacturing, and I'm excited to be here again talking with you after what has been a fantastic summer. Thanks entirely to the work that you and your teams have done selling the Butler difference. Back in 2018, we asked you to go out and sell and help us grow our business, and frankly, you've delivered in ways that I couldn't even imagine back then. We've had our challenges along the way. First and foremost would be lead time, and we'll talk about that here in a moment. First, I think it's important to pause though and look at the economic conditions here in the United States. As we look at our quote volume, we're actually seeing more quote activity this year than we did 12 months ago. In fact, over the last 4 months, we significantly exceeded the value from the same period last year in terms of the quotes from you, our Butler builders. We've seen strong activity in both aviation, light industrial, as well as warehousing. Now, I know we've seen data that would suggest a recession is potentially on the horizon, but as we look at data from within the construction industry, we also see data that shows essentially that general construction has a strong backlog through the middle of 2020, suggesting that although we've seen slower growth, we've got a robust industry for the short-term future. As we look at steel pricing, we saw relative stability over the last 6 months. However, in the last 2 months, we've seen a steady increase where over a 5-week stretch, we saw a 15% increase in raw material pricing. We've been able to manage that at Butler Manufacturing through our discounting process, but please, make sure you keep in touch with your area sales manager, make sure you're updating the quotes, because at the moment we seem like we've steadied out with the steel pricing, and the futures show a steady state as to where we are right now. We just need to keep our eyes on that to make sure we're doing what we can to protect both of us in that market. One thing that's clear when we talk about lead times, it's not an easy fix. If you look at our construction industry in general, it's a busy time. The precasters are busy, our competitors are busy. We're no different. To be able to deliver the quality and complexity that you demand takes time, and I think that's important to see. So we're in it for the long haul. We'll make sure we get this right. What may not be as apparent to you is what's happening behind the scenes to make sure we address this gap. And as we pull back the curtain and look at that, it first and foremost starts with hiring. We need more engineers, we need more detailers. And we've had success on that over the last several months, adding over 50 detailers during that period. We haven't been able to have as much success on the hiring of new designers. We've brought some new ones in, but we've also lost some due to attrition. And this is an area of increased focus within our business. In addition to that, we continue to look for outsourced design suppliers to help us in those peak periods. We're rolling out new training systems to make sure as we bring on these new hires, they're able to gain the experience necessary to advance in complexity so they address the kinds of work that you bring in and the kind of work that makes Butler Manufacturing who we are. I think it's important for us to talk about Omni Design. We realize it will not be ready for release in March of 2020. And understanding that, we've assessed where we can have the greatest impact on the business now with some of those resources that are working on Omni Design. And we're looking at that really in 3 areas. First, we're redeploying resources to impact design today, putting them to work in our biggest bottleneck areas within design, making sure we're whittling down that backlog. We're also taking those resources and forming a new training team to be able to train our new engineers, giving them the experience that they need to rapidly advance in competencies, able to address more complex and interesting work, the kind of work that you, our Butler builders, bring in and day out. Finally, we're taking resources and looking at our current tools and what we can do to make those tools more efficient for our engineers and simply a better process to reduce the amount of time taken during design and frankly to reduce our risk of claims as well. I'm also excited about what's happening with Omni Project. This is a program that has been well adapted by our builders. It affects and it's how we communicate with one another. We're adding the claims module, which will integrate with OrderTrack, our builder app, to allow you to do things at the site and integrate with Butler Project and also do an automated claims process as part of that. That's exciting news for us. It's a real time saver and will bring real value to our Butler builders. We have upcoming roundtable meetings where Butler builders will gather in 2 locations over the coming month and have a chance to interact with me and my leadership team. If you're not able to attend those meetings, I ask you please reach out to your advisory council. The email address is advisorycouncil@butlermfg.com. It's a good way to communicate with those folks so they can provide direction back to Butler Manufacturing as well. Now, I'm super excited about our upcoming builder sales meeting in Austin, Texas in March of 2020. We've taken your advice and really truly made this a builder meeting. We're making sure we have construction industry specific content in those breakout sessions. We have more breakout sessions than we've had in the past, giving you more options to make it valuable for you, for your project managers, and other people from your firm when they attend that meeting. We've provided more time on the sales floor to provide more interaction with our vendor partners, as well as with the Butler team and our partners at BlueScope Builders North America. I'm excited about that because we're also bringing more peer-to-peer learning, having you learn best practices from other Butler builders. What better way to learn than from another person who's doing exactly what you're doing? I think it's important to acknowledge where we are today, and again, thanking you for the work that you've done over the past several months and year. Again, I asked you back in 2018 to sell. You absolutely went out and sold. We've got an issue with lead times today. We're getting through that, and I think it's important to acknowledge that we're in the construction industry. Things happen, but it's how we react to those challenges, to those changes, how we pivot that will define who we are. And what better partner to have for me than you, the Butler Builder, because I know that together there's nothing that we cannot accomplish. Thank you for your time and attention during this video. I look forward to seeing you in the near future, hopefully at one of our roundtable meetings, if not at the Butler Builder meeting in Austin, Texas in 2020. Until then, let's continue to work together, engage your sales representative and your area manager, work with us. We're absolutely doing great things together, and together we will be the preferred steel building solutions provider. Thank you very much.